I'm not gonna be afraid no more. Fear don't live here no more. I'm not gonna be afraid no more. Pain just walk out the door. That spirit ain't here with me. God didn't put that in me. But the spirit of power and love and of sound mind, sound mind. Waking up every day thinking what I'm gonna pay with the money I made. Thinking what I'm gonna say when the...
Okay, hi everyone. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to come back at you with another video. I've been getting questions about my teaching experience, how I became a teacher, why I wanted to do it, if I had any teaching experience. So I figured I would come and answer some of those questions because it would just be a lot to write. And if anyone's wondering, I am standing up because it's nighttime right now and the lighting is not so great over there. So I'm standing right here so that I don't look, you know, so dark. I'm a dark girl, so you know I gotta find the light. Okay, so back to the question. Let's start off with like how I became a teacher, how I got into this. Honestly, I was just looking into ways that I could work overseas again. I'd worked overseas before and I wanted to do it again, but I wanted to do something different. And I just really started Googling. Google is definitely my friend. And if you look up like international work opportunities or whatever, teaching English in a foreign country will come up. And so basically that was pretty much how I got into it. I do not have a background in teaching. You do not need a background in teaching. My degree, I have a bachelor's in business management. Yeah, business management and teaching. Yeah, I know y'all are wondering too. But I didn't have a background in teaching. I never done it, at least never in an academic setting. I'd done a little bit of volunteering before, teaching an adult literacy program, teaching in an adult literacy program in college. But other than that, and maybe some in like church, you know, small groups and things like that, but nothing on an academic or even a professional level with teaching. So yeah, I started looking in lots of different areas, and if you Google it or anything, you'll see lots of websites. Dave's ESL Cafe. There's all these different places that also offer like TEFL certificates, and they also, their websites have a lot of information. So I just started looking into what countries I could go to, what I needed, how long I could do it for, and so on. So I basically started doing that, and it took me a couple months before I found my current program. I did a couple interviews over the phone and so on. Nothing worked out for a little while, but I just kept going at it. And basically that's when I found this program. I actually, in the midst of my researching and, you know, getting turned down for a few jobs or whatever, I went onto my school's e-recruiting site. You know, most schools have like a career website, and I went in there, and that's when I typed in, you know, teaching English overseas, and that's how I actually found my recruiter and the program that I'm in. So the program that I'm in is called IEPIC. It's EPIC for Chungnam Province. So I know there's the EPIK, which is the program for Korea, but I'm in the EPIC, which is the one for the Chungnam Province, and I'm also an intern. Didn't find that out until I came here, but whatever. I'm in the internship program, and there's not much difference. I think there's a small difference, and I don't really remember what it is, although I was told. Anyway, basically, my contract is for a year, and most contracts are for a year. And let's see, I didn't need a teaching degree or any kind of teaching experience. Although if you do have some, I believe that depending on where you go and who employs you, I have seen when I was looking it up, if you have like an education background, or if you have a TEFL or a TESOL certificate, I think you can get a little bit more depending on the program and depending on where you're going. But I had neither. I had none of those. What else? I needed a clean background check, like criminal background check. I had to be healthy, you know, no communicable diseases or anything like that. And yeah, passport, and so on, and a bachelor's degree in anything. Like I said, I have a bachelor's in business administration. So yeah, so I was just looking for something that I could do that I thought I would like. Actually, I wanted something that was different, something that I thought I would enjoy. Jobs were really hard to get. That's one of the reasons why I came here as well. Jobs were really hard to get where I lived, you know, back in the States, and that's kind of all over the States. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. There was no like, oh my gosh, this is my calling, or oh, I want to be a teacher for the rest of my life. I don't know yet. I really love teaching. I really do like it, and I know that whatever I do next, hopefully will have some type of teaching element in it, even if I'm not an actual teacher. Let me see. What else can I tell you? Okay, about the school. Oh, wait. Let me tell you about the process. Sorry, I'm thinking of this on top of my head. Let me tell you about the process a little bit. So basically, I got in touch with the recruiters. They talked to me on the phone, asked me, just the basic questions. Do you have a degree? Blah blah blah. Just basic stuff. And then after that, I had to send in documents, which were passport photos. I had to get the criminal background check. I actually did the state background check, but I think it's changed now. So make sure you check with your program. What else? I already had a passport. I had to get my degree apostolized. Is that the word? Yeah, maybe that's the word. Anyway, they can tell you more about that. I did my own self-help check, which is just a program form, excuse me, that you fill out. What else? And then basically, long story short, I took it to the Korean embassy in Atlanta, which is where I'm from. Waited a little while, got my visa. I paid about $45. It was so cheap. I've lived overseas before, and the amount I paid before was ridiculous. So it was really cheap to get my visa for this. And yeah. And then I had to wait, I did have to wait until they found a school for me. But I mean, it was a relatively easy process. It can be a little bit tedious because you do have to go back and forth. You have to get your getting your degree apostolized and notarized and blah blah blah. So there is a little bit of that. There's a little bit of legwork to do, but it's not a very hard process, and it's not a very expensive process either. So I didn't pay for that much. And when you get here, you get an entrance allowance, which is a few $100s. And the plane ticket is also paid for essentially in a public school. Well, my experience was I paid for it first and then I was reimbursed. So yeah, it's not that much upfront cost to you, which is what I liked as well. And also there's just such a demand here for English teachers, and because it's an easier country to get into, I think a lot more people flock here to teach English. And yeah, so I think that's all I can tell you about the process and about me in that process. Yeah, so anyway, on to the school. So for the school, I know each school is different, but for me, I teach in 2 elementary schools right now. I do not make up my own curriculum, thank God, because I wouldn't know how to do it. Well, at least then I wouldn't have known how to do it. So I am given a curriculum which I follow. The only thing that I do is sometimes not sometimes, all the time, I incorporate my own exercises, games, activities, and basically how I'm going to present the material. I get to choose that. In one of my schools, I teach all classes by myself. In my second school, I have help. The workload is not that it's not that heavy. I'm not really stressed and really worn out with all these classes or anything. It does take a little preparation work. Yep, you do have to prepare for all of your classes, and it can be a little bit a bit much at times, but nothing like if I were working in a corporation, which I have done before. So yeah, now that could change though. The workload and so on. The hours are really good. I work from 8:30 to 4:30. I have my evenings and I have my weekends and so on. They don't really call you to. I think I've worked on the weekend maybe once for English camp, and another time I had a training, but that was it. But that could change. The workload could actually change. Apparently, I'm hearing that my classes are going to be increased, and I may be teaching at 2 schools with no co-teachers, which is not really cool. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know what they say. But yeah, so right now, honestly, the workload is not that much. I actually teach about 23 classes right now. So yeah, it's not too bad. As I said, I really enjoy it. Do I want to become a teacher after this? I'm not sure. I've looked into it. I've started to look into it, but gosh, I just don't know how teaching jobs are back home. I haven't heard that it's used to be a really stable field, and that's just not the case anymore. So I don't know. I've still got a little time to make up my mind. But yeah, that's about it. I hope that answered your questions. Yeah, if I think of anything else, I'll put it in. Okay, bye.
Fax me with